Man. Well, folks, LDWMMAC, boy, this is a great morning. Man, a wonderful morning. I'm having fun. Are you? Guys, I want to talk to you guys about Larissa Pacheco's future, okay? And these are my afterthoughts. Larissa Pacheco, she went and did what nobody thought she would do. Only a handful of people thought that Larissa Pacheco could pull off this great upset. Only a handful, okay? And Larissa Pacheco pretty much said it was me against the world. You got to think about it. The fans were against her. The media was against her. Everybody was against Larissa Pacheco except Larissa Pacheco. She had support from Marina Mahatnikina. Okay, had support there. But really and truly, nobody, and I'll say the overwhelming majority, nobody thought that Larissa Pacheco could actually go in there and win this fight. Larissa Pacheco braved the takedowns. She braved the mauling. She braved the ground and pound. And Larissa Pacheco, instead of accepting positions, she struck first. Whether she was on her back, whether she was up against the cage, she struck first. Came out victorious. Now, what about her future? Okay. Here's the thing. Kayla Harrison only has 2 fights left on her contract. Only 2. And to be honest, they're not going to pair Kayla up with Larissa right now. They're not going to do it again that fast. Larissa Pacheco will not go to the UFC to fight Nunes, okay, for legacy. And she's not going to go to Bellator, especially not Bellator, to fight Chris Cyborg for legacy. I'm going to tell you guys why she's not going to go. Larissa Pacheco has come from nothing, had nothing, has had nothing for a long time. Even while she's fighting in the PFL, she's had nothing. Larissa Pacheco has been a person that's not had a lot in this world. And so to finally get something, to finally get the money that you've been looking for, at 28 years old, Larissa Pacheco, she took over the spot that Kayla Harrison once possessed. Larissa Pacheco will probably make 6 figures a fight now. Every fight she fights, she'll probably get 6 figures. Larissa Pacheco can reign supreme in the PFL. In the near future, I don't predict that Kayla will resign with the PFL. I don't think she will. Not after this embarrassing, humiliating loss. Pacheco don't have any incentive to go to the UFC. What incentive? She'll probably make less. A lot less. And have to do a lot more. She'll make a lot less. She won't be able to have her own sponsors. Okay? They'll take away her sponsorship money and give her that Venom money, which doesn't compare to the amount of sponsorship money that she gets. Just ask Chris Cyborg. Chris Cyborg has so many sponsors that Chris really and truly can make over 7 figures a fight. With base pay, back-end money, sponsor money, Chris Cyborg tends to make about 7 figures a fight. You can't do that in the UFC. Okay? Would Pacheco go to Bellator? Sounds like a pretty good deal. The thing of it is that the PFL, they're organized. They're very organized. And the tournament is a very organized tournament structure. Where you know that if you win this tournament, you know that you're going to get at least $1 million if you can win this tournament. You know it. It's very organized and it's very structured. At points in time, I feel like Bellator is not very organized. I feel like sometimes we get some fights, we don't get some fights. And it just kind of seems like that Bellator, you kind of see why Bellator has always been second best to the UFC. See, there's comfort and safety in the PFL. Larissa Pacheco will get to fight a lot of opponents and do what Kayla did. A lot of these opponents will probably not be able to compete with Larissa Pacheco. These opponents will not be able to compete with Larissa Pacheco. There'll be a lot of easy victories. And you're going to tell somebody, a girl from the streets of Brazil, who literally had nothing, you're going to tell her, hey, come give that up and fight for legacy. Come to the UFC. Come to the UFC and fight for legacy. Yeah. Guys, It would take Larissa Pacheco 3 to 4 fights in the UFC to make $1 million. You guys know that? It would take her 3 to 4 fights. Literally. There's no way that she would make the kind of money that she'll make now in the PFL. I mean, 6 figures a fight and $1 million at the end of the season. Guys, can you beat that? I mean, really and truly, think about what I'm saying. Can you really, really beat that? Can anybody beat that? Is that beatable? Because, folks, I kind of have to tell you guys, I don't think so. I don't think that's beatable. You got an easy road at 28. Do you know Larissa could probably fight in the PFL for another 3 years and be financially set for the rest of her life? Because when you take the money over to Brazil, for every Brazilian real is worth about every American dollar is worth about 5 Brazilian reals. The cost of living in Brazil is much, much cheaper than it is here in America. Larissa Pacheco can take that money to her home country, live like a queen. She already is the queen of the PFL. Now, her legacy being questioned. But I don't think she's going to leave the comfort of the PFL. Why? Why would you do it? Why? Why would you want to do that? When you're going to be guaranteed over 7 figures for the year. She's going to get her fight pay, like what she makes in just a normal fight. And then she's going to get that $1 million bonus at the end. Now, the $1 million isn't guaranteed, okay? But when you look at what's going on in the PFL, who's going to challenge Larissa Pacheco? The only person that I can see who could possibly challenge Larissa Pacheco is Marina Mahatnikina. I think she does have the ability to beat Pacheco. I don't think she got the power to beat Pacheco. I just think Pacheco has now evolved as a fighter. Folks, I don't know. She'd be dumb. She'd be dumb. Okay? Because we know how the UFC operate. We know how Bellator operate, guys. We know that these organizations, you have to prove your worth to them. Okay? You got to pay to play. You got to prove your worth to Bellator. You got to prove your worth to the UFC. They're just not going to come in and pay you the big bucks. Not right away. Not right away. Now, Larissa Pacheco is going to stay put. She's going to stay put. She's going to enjoy the fruits of her labor with this PFL belt. And she's going to milk this for as long as she can. Think about it. If Larissa Pacheco could hang out in the PFL till she's 32. Okay. What's stopping her? And guys, to be honest, as a business model, I don't even know how the PFL still is afloat. With the low viewership numbers, okay, not a lot of like stars in the company. How does the PFL stay afloat? I would not be surprised if the PFL is losing money, bleeding money. But I guess if you're Larissa Pacheco, I guess you got to be the Band-Aid. You got to be the Band-Aid to capture all this blood.